Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. I am going to go ahead and do an October garden tour because I have everything planted right now. It's not my original plan, but it's going to work, hopefully. We have our first frost possibly on the forecast for Tuesday night. And so I really needed to get things kind of wrapped up in here and ready to go for the possible frost. We're slotted to be 34 degrees, but we all know how 2 degrees can go. So I harvested all the peppers that we had left, and the rest of the basil that we had, which really wasn't very much. And I got the rest of the plants in the ground that need to be in the ground, and I have frost cover ready to put up that night over these rows to try to help mitigate any damage. So let's turn this camera around and show you what our almost frost garden tour looks like here in October. So the garden really is looking pretty bare, but it's still going to be producing, so that is good. I'm going to take you over here to what I'm calling bed 1. So right now we still have our sweet peppers in here. I harvested everything off of there that I could. In this bed, these things should be fine. I have calendula and Brussels sprouts down the center and cabbage down the edge here. Again, I said this when I was planting these out. I know I am pushing it, and I am like a month late in transplanting these out, but I'm hoping the frost fabric's going to help, and I would not have anything if I didn't plant them. So hopefully we'll get some growth on them and at least be able to harvest these cabbages as a cut and come again, or even the Brussels sprout leaves. We really like those as a harvest, is the leaves. So this bed is planted and it is netted and clamped, which is awesome. This bed is pretty much dead. The okra has been eaten. It keeps trying, but it's gone. The pineapple sage is very woody at this point. It's really just a habitat for bugs. The lemon verbena is weirdly just starting to really amp up. These pole beans got really hurt. They're the Thai long beans. They really got hurt by all the powdery mildew and being blocked out by the cucumbers and melons that were on here. So they're trying to produce some, but I'm just kind of leaving them. I have one on either side, and they're really just struggling. And then I had transplanted over here my parsley just to give it a shot, my oregano to try to give it a shot, and no, actually my oregano I pulled, my lemongrass, which looks like it's dying. Everything I transplanted over here is dying. So I had a feeling that was going to happen. They weren't really going to survive the frost anyway, so this I'm not worried about protecting. And then over here I really don't have much anymore. I never got the cucumbers planted, and it's a little too late for them now. My echinacea is just sitting there doing its thing. This is our kale bed. These have been planted for a few days now, and they are doing great. So I'm very excited about these. They're going to taste very sweet with the frost, if it actually frosts. These are our hot peppers. I just harvested all of these as well. And then we still have some thyme, nasturtium, and calendula in here. The only plants I have left are the cucumbers and the micro dwarf tomatoes for inside the house. So the cucumbers are getting tossed and the tomatoes are moving back in. This bed down here, so I originally was going to plant that bed, but the cat keeps going to the bathroom in there, and I actually didn't have enough connector pieces for that. So I went ahead, I didn't get a lot of the stuff I seeded in here, didn't make it. So I just decided to interplant in here with what I already had. So we have broccoli and cauliflower and Swiss chard and collards, kohlrabi. We have a couple of rutabagas trying to make it here. A couple more kohlrabi, some turnips, the walking onions. The walking onions were there, and the rutabagas and turnips were here, but everything else I just planted today. And then, see, our basil is almost gone anyway. This bed really needs to be weeded so I could take stock of what's actually growing. This is supposed to be beets, and there are some beets, but not as many beets as I was hoping for to survive. So a lot germinated, but then the heat killed some. Then this section here is actually not planted. I was going to plant some radishes here. These radishes and a couple of weeds are ones that didn't bulb. They just went to seed, so I'm going to try to collect the seed pods. And then our carrots are here. Other than that, pretty much what's left is the asparagus bed, which we will trim back after the frost, our sad dead corn. Most of the artichokes have died. Our loofah has died, and our peas did not make it through the heat. So I'm cutting my loss with those at this point. I do have one artichoke that's doing halfway decent, but with the frost coming, we will see what happens with that. I don't know if my friend's moving it inside or not. So there's the one artichoke trying to hold on. So that's my harvest from today. It's the hot peppers, there's sweet peppers and basil in there. I am gathering up all of our little yard decor stuff. That frog is glass. Our water catcher is not glass, so I'm leaving that out. But if you have frost coming, make sure you're taking your glass down because we don't want it to break. And that's it. That's the tour. That's what we have right now. So I got some frost fabric on Amazon to try to get us through. It's not as heavy duty a frost fabric as I wanted to get, but it's one, what I could afford right now, and two, what I can get to me very quickly for this upcoming possible frost. It was on the forecast and then it went off the forecast and now it's back, so I'm glad I bought it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put that over the netting and clamp it down with the netting, and hopefully that will stop stuff from dying, especially since these are newly transplanted. The roots aren't as established, and I'll make sure I water that morning when I go to take them off, hopefully before the sun hits anything, and hopefully that is going to stop anything from going to mush. It changes the cellular wall breakdown. So that's what we have going on. That is my October garden tour, and I hope that you are still trying to grow something. I am chalking this winter up to a trial process, see what works, what doesn't work. There's not a lot of people who winter garden here, and so I'm going to try, and then I will learn from it and adjust. Doing the frost fabric and working full time It's going to be interesting because I got to get out here and put it on, and then I have to take it off while we're still having these up and down days. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you back on the next video.